All right. Hopefully it begins now and without interruptions. Tonight, this will be the first part of hopefully a new ongoing series. And like I said, we'll be covering the two projects that I want to do. One, which is this outdoor decorative mushroom, which will be cast out of concrete, and the fire hydrant, which will be cast out of brass. Now, this is what I'm going to talk about tonight for the most part. However, just for those of you who are here not for modeling, but for, say, for example, jewelry or other crafts, you can look at this as, say, for example, a pendant. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just used for a different purpose, as whether you're a modeler, a jewelry maker, a decorative designer, bead maker, you can do it all the same way. Now also, this is the way I found that's comfortable for me. There are probably 100,000 different ways that you could approach this. This is just what I do. So anyway, this piece right here, I'm planning on hopefully casting this once it's in its wax form with about 5 sprues, so I can cast 5 of these at the same time. Now if you look closely, you can see that it's got the holes here on the side. Well, one of the things I want to tell you is when you're doing something, keep it simple. Make it as simple as is possible. For me now, I want this to be able to be used in a scene. Say, for example, I build a diorama, and I want to put a fire engine in there and have hose coming off of this. Well, it's a little difficult to do if this has the cap on there where the hose goes. So I want to be able to cast this separately, so those holes are there. However, if I cast this way, those holes would be too large, so I've got to fill them in and drill it out later. So that'll make it more simpler. So all of this is in the planning. And when you're creating a mold or the master, you have to consider the materials, the time it's going to take you to make it, because that'll work into how much, if you're selling the stuff, how much you're going to charge for it. All of this has to be taken into consideration. Now, the first thing I want to cover tonight on making the mold is, like in the last little video when I had my granddaughter Melody with me, is your choice of plastics. This is styrene, ABS, and acrylic. These are the 3 plastics that I usually work with. These are what they call thermoform plastics. They are, when heated, they don't burn readily. They melt or become liquid and can easily be formed. That's why they're called thermoform. And they're easily recyclable. This can be formed many times. And all 3 of them can be formed many times. As you can see, this is an injection molded dome. These, on the other hand, even though they're still plastic, are what they call thermoset plastics. Thermoset plastics can only be done once. Now, if you were to reheat these to the temperature to the point where they, say for example, this would turn to a liquid or a sort of the consistency of honey, this would simply burn. It cannot be recycled unless it's, taken to a recycling center and they grind it down and do whatever. But it cannot be recycled. Just like concrete. Once it's set, it's set. All right, now we're looking at 2 different materials here. And these questions have popped up. I've seen it all over Facebook. Which is the better plastic to use if I'm scratch building? Well, in my mold making, when I first started using styrene because it's very easy to work with. It is very soft, and it is easily cuttable, gluable. This is ABS. It holds its shape better. It's one of the 3 components in the ABS. The S is styrene. So they're both considered high impact plastics because they will take high impacts without shattering. Whereas acrylic and plexiglass will shatter because they're harder. And it's also harder to work with. So anyway, I'm going to stop the video right here for now, and I've got some pictures I'm going to accompany with this, so you can see what is going to come up in the next video. and the pictures will explain themselves. So I want to keep these short, and so kind of mull that over, the plastics, keeping the choice simple, and I'll get the next one up as soon as I can.